If I were to ask you the first words you think of when I say elevator pitch, what comes to mind? Well, for me, I think canned, overly scripted, almost like a used car salesman pitch. And when I think about the word elevator, it's honestly not a lot better, because when you're on an elevator, I don't know if you really are conscious of it, but it seems that people go in this strange default place. They're an autopilot where they're either sort of looking up at the ceiling and staring at like the numbers as they go by. Some people might be looking down at their feet. There's not always a lot of real quality conversation, or I guess you could say dialogue, or even eye contact. I mean, maybe you'll get someone saying like the comment about the weather or last night's sports score, but not a lot of meaningful exchange. Well, that's interesting, because elevator pitch is basically designed to be done on an elevator. Probably the worst place possible where you can pitch your business and what sets you apart in the marketplace. But essentially, the idea is that so-and-so executive gets on at, say, the ground floor and is going to like the 12th floor. And you have 30 seconds to make your best pitch. Well, it's not a very inspiring visualization, I must say, but unfortunately, it's one that's almost been robotically programmed into our DNA as professionals. Everybody has to have an elevator pitch. Well, I think that because the elevator is not a very empowering place, it's time to retire that as the place where we think, or we approach the place where we should be pitching our business. Even if it's not actually happening on the elevator, people have that mindset where they have to give an elevator pitch and just say as much as they can about how great they are, because that's what's going to take to try to close a deal, etc. with so-and-so executive so they remember you. Well, most people are not going to remember what happened in the elevator. I mean, God forbid some emergency happens, like, yeah, then they'll probably remember. But let's say that were to happen, that's probably not the best association for someone to have with you. But when it comes to this idea of an elevator pitch, I think it's time to retire it. I think it's time that we transform it from an elevator pitch into what I call the elevation pitch. Because when I think of the word elevation, elevate, I think of elevating the conversation, elevating the dialogue, raising the spirits of the person that I'm talking to, and empowering them to get outside of their limiting beliefs and taking action. And so that's where I come down on why the elevator pitch needs to be replaced, and how it's not just semantics, but it's this mindset shift in our approach and in the words that we use that's really going to make the difference between someone just kind of grunting and getting off the elevator, metaphorically, and saying, tell me more, and you actually having a meaningful engagement that leads to great riches, referrals, and a long-lasting relationship. Thanks. More on this to come in the days ahead.